Yeah.
You'll have to ignore it, or you can help me to stop it.
Okay, family. It sounds like I'm supposed to talk like this, so I'll just grab my mic, let you guys know you are back to the Profit Taker Show. And I'm your host, TK Profit. Y'all quiet down in the back, don't snap too loud. Well, alright. Let's go live. That was kind of smooth. Now let's get people on Facebook and Instagram a few more minutes to get in. Y'all just move to the melody of my smooth voice. My bad, wrong button. Cool. What's up, everybody? How are you guys feeling? Back at the top of the week, y'all know I love to start with energy, but let's go ahead and get started. So, y'all let me know in the chat, how did y'all weeks go? Did you enjoy yourself? How was your weekend? Miss Sean, what's up? How you doing? Hey. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do before we get started is the usual. I will stick to this routine and hopefully it inspires you guys. Now, some people, what they do is they only trade certain pairs. That's absolutely beautiful. Whatever works for you works. In only trading certain pairs, what you do is you develop a relationship with that pair, which is fine. But what I like to do is I like to trade volatility. So there is always a time period where every chart will be in consolidation. And when those times appear, I like to find something else that's in an impulsive move, okay? So I look for volatility. We go to the news, check to see where that will be for the week, and we use those pairs to look through. What's the day? It's the 20th. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So we got CAD news. Good. So we got CAD news, and we're looking for a reversal on USD CAD. Look at this. Man, I didn't know we could have kept that sell. So let's go ahead and start here, since I was already expecting a reversal. We got CAD news at 8. Let's see. All right. So we're looking for a reversal. But one thing we got to keep in mind is what side of the jump we're on. And in this case, we're on the right side. We're in stage 4 looking for sales. Now, what we need to do is take a look at the left and figure out where we are in relation to that jump. Now, looking to the left from here, the first thing that I see is a huge area of consolidation. So this zone that price just fell in to retest was stage 1 over here. Now, what we don't want to do is just stop there. So let's tighten this chart up a little more, go out to a higher time frame to make sure that our perspective, our viewpoint is consistent with the higher time frames. Now, cool. That's why I always tell everybody to scale out. So from where we were sitting originally, and it wasn't incorrect, but it wasn't a complete perspective. This would have been the completion of the jump. But now that we scaled out, we see that this area here is a massive area for a trap. Because once the markets creates relatively equal lows or highs in a certain place, you got a bunch of traders placing their money or their stop losses underneath those areas. So this rejection that we were looking for may not happen until these lows are retested here. Okay? So what we will do is adjust this fib. Let's turn on this magnet. Let's look at the fib from this swing low. Okay. Now, before we do anything else, let's look at the fundamentals, because this is the part that most people skip. When you're in a downtrend, we discussed last week, no matter how price moves when you're in a downtrend, what we are looking for is for price to create lower highs and lower lows. Whether it looks like this and you got price kind of moving in a clean move, a clean downward channel, or it looks like this, the objective is the same. You need to see lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs and lower lows. No matter how sporadic this thing or impulsive this thing may look on the right, it still adheres to the same rules. Okay? Now, let's go back to that higher time frame. This is why that's important. This thing is in an uptrend. Let me try the daily. This thing is in an uptrend. But where are your pivot lows? Right now, this area is a pivot low. This area, this is a pivot low, and this right here. So this thing could fall. Where's my path tool? This thing could fall from here, give you a continuation pattern, retest this pivot low, and it could still be considered an uptrend and bounce from there. Okay? Now, with the momentum weighing so heavily on the bear side, I do believe this liquidity right here will be captured. Now, as far as the possibilities, that's what we'll consider to go through. I just went over one possibility. Another possibility is we get a short-term rejection right here at this area. Okay? Now, if we look on the line chart, that is definitely a double bottom. Now, I told you guys before, double bottoms are relative, and what I meant is normally when you see them happening over and over at the same area, they won't be as strong as one that's like by itself. Like this reversal pattern here. This is a double top. Let's turn this line chart on. It's an M, but this thing is by itself. So normally when they're retested, price respects those areas more. Like this was a major rejection from this one. These two, this double bottom was created. This wick retested it. and this move here retested it again. So with price shooting back to this area with all of this momentum, there is a great chance that we'll see a break of this level. Okay, so the next structural level we're paying attention to is this level right here on the 4 hour, because it's the pivot low. That's why we're looking at that area. Now what we need to do is keep in mind the possibilities that we just created. Let's just draw it out. We're either going to see a rejection, maybe pull back before, or it will drop, give us a continuation pattern where we can use to enter. So let's just check out those possibilities. So we need to highlight this area to see what's going on, and we also need to see what is going on right in here. So let's dive in. I hope that makes sense. So when you guys do top-down analysis, that's what you use the higher time frames for, to get an overall direction, to figure out your major structural levels so you don't put yourself in trouble. But before I go ahead and break that down, let me show you what I mean. Like your major structural levels, without coming to a higher time frame and understanding that this area here is a major structural level, you would have potentially been in trouble. Like if this is the only perspective you see, you may think, oh yeah, this is valid support, let me take this buy, and just jump in, not realizing how many times this area has been hit. Okay, so always take your time when you do your charting. All right, it's not about rushing, it's about putting yourself in the best possible position to profit. And we got Blue in here learning about trading. I love this. Yeah, so the double bottom means, hold on, let's see. The double bottom means the down point. No, the double bottom is what they call a reversal pattern. So in the market, what's going on, Zakar? In the market, you got different phases as far as movement. You got uptrends. You got the market when it's going in a downtrend. And you also have its cousin that we call consolidation or range. Normally when you see a double bottom, it will appear at the lows. And I guess that's what you meant by a down point. It will appear at the lows, but it's a signal that price could possibly reverse if it's retested. So that's how we use it. A really simple approach by using those reversal patterns, whether it's the double top or the double bottom, because they actually work. Okay, you see it right here with your own eyes. Price gave you that W, that double bottom. Then once it was retested, price went up. So really, if you can spot that, you can find a profitable trade. The thing that scares people is, number one, accepting that it's really that easy. And then they say, well, if it's that easy, why aren't more people making money? And this is the answer to that question. People don't have the ability to master themselves the way they attempt to master other things outside of themselves. So yes, spotting it is easy, but controlling yourself is not. Being disciplined, seeing that you made $1,000 off of risking $80, and then having the same discipline to put that same $80 up versus putting up $300. That's what kills people in the market. Inconsistency, impulsive behaviors, and a lack of discipline. But outside of that, technical analysis is the easiest thing that you'll ever do. It's just you have to take the time to understand it, and get the thoughts of I don't know, I can't out of your mind. I don't like math. Any of those self-sabotaging thoughts that would create some type of stagnation, that's what you need to get rid of, because this stuff is really easy, trust me. All right, so let's go ahead and scale down. We got Blue in here, man. I'm excited. I used to cut his hair, And man, me and this guy would joke around. I mean, all day for hours just laughing. And I enjoyed it. But I looked up, 5 years had passed, and I was laughing, and I was still in the same damn spot. And I was like, hold on now. This is fun. It's starting to seem like a prison. Then I started looking at that word, entertainment. And yes, I was a prisoner to that joy at the shop. I was a prisoner to that laughter. And I let it create stagnation. Then after noticing it, shit, it was like, enough of this. We got to get out of this barbershop. Get out of here. All right, so what we have is a 4-hour double top that we found earlier. Let's see what else we got. Okay, cool. Right here on this 618, there's a continuation pattern. Normally when you see continuation patterns, they're retested. And if the momentum is strong in that direction, then you'll get a continuation. So let me show you what I mean. So price is falling here. If the momentum is strong, once we get a retest of this area, you'll see a continuation of the downtrend. So we want to look to see if this level will be retested. And we're into that trade, and we're looking for price to come down to this level, giving us a 1-to-7 trade setup. Now with the news coming out at 8, I appreciate that, Blue. Proud of you too, man. I had to stop and say I'm proud of me. It's kind of tough when everybody looking around you like, man, what's wrong with you? You crazy? No, man, I got a vision. But yeah, let's see if we can get a break above to get this level retested. Cool. So the thing that we're looking for, it actually happened right here. Right here. I love when this happened. I gave you an example. I look up, and there's a live example next to it. This has happened in the last 5 sessions we had at least. So price created this continuation pattern. This move was a pullback. It retested it, and it fell again. So we want to see if that same thing will happen here. We're going to put our stop loss slightly above this level, and we're going to take this fall. Now we took a gold trade, and on that gold trade, we closed out in profit on it, and we got a higher high being created. So we talked about a false breakout, and gold definitely played around a little bit. Let's go to that position. All right, cool. So again, we talked about those double tops. I saw one on the 30-minute. I placed a limit order. A limit order is an order that you set and you can leave, and it will not be activated until the market touches that area. So you guys will hear me say making profits without being present a lot. That's what I mean. How you can do your homework, set your orders in the market, go to work, go enjoy your family, whatever functions or gatherings you had planned, and just look up and you either won or you learned a lesson. For me, it's been more beneficial because it removes me from the charts. Biggest part that held me in place when I first started was staring at the charts. It creates a casino effect where you feel like you just want to be a part of every damn trade you see, and you just start clicking the button, clicking the button, clicking the button. And what that does is destroys your odds, because the more trades you take, the higher your chances are of losing. So when I stopped watching the market and just let the trades run, I became more profitable and everything started to just fall in place. So I suggest, until you are comfortable with the movements in the market, stick to swing trading, holding your positions for longer. All right, cool. But that trade activated, we got about almost 100 pips, and it was a 1 to 3 trade. And from there, it went in the opposite direction, giving us a rejection at this structural level here. Now, same rules apply. When the market is creating higher highs, it has to move in this fashion, creating higher highs and higher lows. This is what makes it an uptrend. Okay, this one is creating higher highs, right? But it also stopped to create consolidation here. So what we're looking at is this structural level and this structural level. If price just so happens to break above to retest this level, I'm taking another sell on gold. And I'll put it in profit the same way, and we'll monitor it, okay? Depending on which way price breaks first, that'll give me a better indication of the overall price. As of right now, it looks like it may be to the downside. We talked about the divergence that we spotted on the higher time frames. So that's when you have your RSI dropping here, creating lower highs, but you got your chart creating higher highs. Like, that doesn't make sense. And typically, it's a what you see is what you get thing with the market. If you see something that doesn't make sense like this, then eventually you'll get a turnaround. Just like the indices making all-time highs and the economy is in the state that it's in. What in the world is pushing the economy that much to where we get all-time highs? That doesn't make sense. So really soon that bubble will pop as well. And it's nothing to be afraid of, but it's definitely something to be aware of so you can be in position. Because they cry out recession, recession, but the truth is recessions are a giant wealth transfer. All of these people with those 401ks tied into your jobs, those are tied into the stock market. And when they crash, they take your money and then they move. And excuse me from laughing, but I just think we should do more research so you can be aware and be on the right side so you can take advantage of stuff like that. Nobody should ever trust someone that you don't know, you can't see, you can't access with your money more than you trust yourself. Educate yourself. Yes, sir. Hold on a second. Okay. So that's what we got on gold. Ooh, let me move this alert up. I'm glad I came back in. We want to keep these alerts close in this consolidated area because we want to figure out, like I said, what is the overall direction. If it breaks above first, I'm looking for the sell. Okay. We don't need to do a lot of staring. We trap price and keep it moving. Let's go back to, what about skip trading? I think you mean scalp trading. So scalping is more so trading on smaller time frames, like the 15-minute or lower. And the things that scalpers do is they want to get pretty much just quick trades and get in and out of the market. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with scalping. The only thing is most people do not have the mental fortitude necessary to scalp efficiently. So I wouldn't suggest scalping for a new trader. Okay. Now, once you understand market structure and you get comfortable with placing your trades and being comfortable with your risk, then I would suggest scalping. Other than that, leave it alone. It is the quickest way to donate all your money. And if you want to find a charity, just go look for some charities yourself. The market got enough money. They don't need donations. All right. So yeah, let's go to Euro CAD since we got CAD news. Now this is definitely setting up bearish on this 15-minute time frame. Now, I showed you guys earlier about this jump, okay? I see we got a couple people coming in new on YouTube. Really quick, I just give you an example. So when the price is in consolidation or trading sideways like it is in this fashion, this will be our first stage. Then you have the uptrend, that's stage 2. Where it's consolidating again, that's stage 3. In most cases, if this structural level here is broken, it goes into stage 4, which would be considered a period of selling in the market, right? So just looking at this on the 15-minute time frame, this area definitely resembles a potential stage 3. Now, what we don't want to do is just use that as our only means of entry and just jump into a trade. So let's head out. On the weekly, it's definitely bearish, and we're waiting on this weekly level to be hit. So what we really are looking for is a buy. Now with that pullback, it is not surprising. We are really at a high right here. So this pullback is natural, it's normal. Now let's see at what point could we possibly get a continuation if it does reject from this point right here. If the market pulls from here, where would it go? And then we'll see if we could accurately pinpoint it to find a buy on this trade. Now again, we're looking for a buy because the daily and the weekly show that the momentum is still bullish. What you don't want to do is fight against a major trend. Even if you're scalping. If you're scalping and you're looking for sales, don't look for your trade to, go to the moon that day. Make sure you got a really reasonable target. So let's figure out what we got. Let's look at this pivot low here, and let's look at this pivot low here. We're going to skip this low because on this 4-hour time frame, these 2 wicks formed a lot of liquidity. So this is the thing about fractal movements in the market. I want you to think of it like that little toy or that doll that they used to have. It was a doll with a doll inside of a doll inside of a doll. Okay, so the market is the same way as with these candlesticks. It's a world within a world within a world. On this 4-hour time frame, you only see 2 candles. Okay. Oh, where are we? Right here. You only see 2 candles. But if we highlight this area and we go down to the 15-minute, you'll see a lot of rejections. And where you have rejections, you got money. 15-minute. Cool. So we got all of these rejections down here at that area. So we're going to look. We already used our arrow to pretty much give us a visual representation of. We're going to look underneath it. Now look at this. Right underneath it, we got the break of structure. This was a structural level of resistance. And this area right here was the break. We are going to test to see if this area will be retested because the market never tested that level. Now, just from using those simple concepts, understanding the pivot highs, the pivot lows for the trade, using a higher time frame to understand the true direction of the trade, and just understanding how to spot liquidity, we found a destination, a potential destination for this sell setup that's really valid. And everything goes according to plan, we could use that area to buy the market back up. And this is how you double dip with the chip. Let me see, what would that be? Yep, 15-minute time frame. This is how you get sales that lead you right into your buys. We do this a lot. Okay. Again, we trade live for free, so you guys make sure you get in our free group so you get access to the recordings, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can come see for yourself and come participate. So let's say tonight on a smaller time frame, we get this 200 EMA to get closer to price, because I'm not taking this thing until our 200 gets closer. If you do your studying, let me find a major reversal. Okay, so this area right here, let me go down on a smaller time frame and let's look at that area. Yeah, give me a second. All right, here we go. Now look at this. So we made it over here. Now I want you to look at that 200. Before price broke, this entire time the 200 was riding underneath price. You didn't get a major move to the downside until your 50 and your 200 came together. So these are really powerful tools, even though they may be simple or common. Complexities, from my experience, are the things that strip you away from profitability in the market. Keep this shit simple, okay? Do not overcomplicate it for yourself. The more complex your strategy is, the more rules you have before finding a trade setup, and the more factors you have when it comes to managing your trade setup. So keep it as simple as you possibly can, and that simplicity will turn into consistency. Man, I need somebody in here writing some of this stuff down. We need to make shirts out of some of these lines, bars. Okay, so that's what we got here. So what we just said is we're gonna wait until London, pretty much. On a smaller time frame, we want to see that 200-day EMA catch up to the consolidation that's being formed. Jeff, we saw Jeff just hopped on Instagram. What up, Jeff? We want to see that, and we're going to take this sell. Now, the target on this sell is actually our area that we're going to take a buy setup. So from analyzing this one trade, we got two setups. A 1 to 7 sell, which is beautiful. The average trader goes for about a 1 to 2. And if you have a really high, everything is up, man. If you have a really high winning percentage, that's beautiful. But if not, there's no way possible that you can get consistent gains if you're taking 1 to 2s and you don't understand technical analysis properly. So what I suggest is refining that skill set and giving yourself a minimum of 1 to 3. So every trade you take, you're going to risk $10, and your goal is to make $30 to just keep it simple. And if you take 10 trades with that approach, it puts you in a position where you can lose 6 trades but still be profitable as a trader. And this is the power that we miss, and the power that nobody talks about. And this is why trading has a bad name, because as a people, honestly, we're undisciplined. We see something that brings in money at the rate that this thing could bring it in, and we lose our fucking mind. And I get it, because most of us aren't necessarily used to seeing a vehicle like that. So it makes sense. But you are your best friend or your worst enemy when it comes to the market. And that's why I love it, because it's really a mirror. It's going to show you you. There was a trader that gave me something that stuck with me forever, and he said, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you have clean your room, you might have trade. So in looking at that, from that perspective, I started to work on myself, and personal development brought me profitability, not learning different skills. we may have to drop this stop loss a little bit on the way up. Let's see. Yeah, let's take this stop loss underneath this area here. All right, that still gives us a 1 to 19. That's pretty cool. All right, cool. So these are the trade setups. Let me find the targets. Now I'm going to start with the targets on the sell only. And after all of the targets are hit, we'll look for the targets on the move for the buy. For the people that are joining us that do not have your account set up, you want to start with us, you guys are more than welcome to use our free 9-day course. Head over to our website, profittakerseu.com. We'll show you how to set up your account, show you how to place trades, monitor your trades. So when you see me online, you'll be able to hop on and go live and eat with the team. Okay. That website looks like this. Just hit that courses tab, put in your information, and you will be emailed with the details. All right. So back to this. Let's get these targets. This area here that we're looking at for our final target is obviously TP3. Now, when it comes to targets, just use the structural levels that you see in the market. Those are levels of structure. We'll use them to take profits to make sure that we don't go in profit on the trade. It turns around and we didn't take any of the money off the table. That was another thing that used to happen to me. And to be honest, that's the secret behind my name. A lot of people thought TK Profit was a religious thing, especially after we got into personal development and started the Structure Breaker Mindset series. But that actually came because I was finding great entries going up thousands of dollars, and then I closed the trade when I got $30 left. I hated myself. Man, I was so upset. So I created the name TK Profit. TK was, for take, obviously. And I spelled profit that manner because in my mind, we prophesied on the chart. So everything came together, but it definitely came from an inconsistency with my discipline. So this is what we are going to do. We got these targets set. Let's place an alert on everything because this also is a powerful tool that helps us trade without being present. After you do your homework, you identify these structural levels. You don't need to keep checking the charts over and over all throughout the day. That shit is stressful, and it actually produces anxiety. So we're going to use these alerts to just keep us aware when we reach certain points. The less you look at this, the more money you will make. And that's it. No, I'm actually going to set one more alert because I believe we'll get a retest of this low before a pullback. So let me just set an alert here. And when it's triggered, what I'll do is set an alert closer to my entry. That way I'm always aware of what's going on with price movement. So we got gold, we got USD CAD, we got Euro CAD, AUD CAD. Looks like we're setting up the same way. And we were looking for a sale anyway. Let's see where our EMAs are. Now with this one, our EMA is a lot closer on the 15 minutes, so that's cool. That is cool. We actually have, I'm not going to say a better setup, but I'm going to say it's closer to actually making a move than that Euro CAD. And that makes sense because it is Aussie session. So on AUD CAD, we actually already got the sell in place. Look at that. And that's the beauty of doing your homework. Let's see where we're going. Giving you the best of me. Let's see, where are we going? So we close all of our buys. Let me get rid of this. Oh yeah, I see it. Now, easy. Our target is this structural level that was broken right here. This was the break, so we want to see that being retested. And this was the structural level that was created by all of these rejections here. So normally when you see price moving in that fashion where you have a structural area of resistance being formed, you get lower lows and then you get a break. In most cases, price will pull back towards that level, retest it, and then continue that uptrend to create a higher high. So that's what we're looking for. This is our last target. That's the pivot high. That's a 1 to almost 7 trade. And again, we're just using simple concepts to diagnose market conditions as well as find entries and exits for our positions. Let's go ahead and set these alerts. I mean, not alerts, these targets. So this will be TP3. Let's put TP1 right at this low here. And TP2 will be right here above this struggle that price created right here. Let's move it down a tad. Boom. All right, so now we got all of our targets. We went through all of the CAD pairs that I actually trade. And this was pretty much the approach. We look at the news. We identify where volatility will be. We take a look at those pairs, trade those pairs, and we've been having a great result from it. Again, if you guys want access to the recordings of these videos, make sure you get in our free Facebook group or on YouTube. They'll be on YouTube as well. And this will be it for the night, you guys. So set your alerts. Make sure that you risk properly if you choose to take those trades. Our approach, if you're using a live account, we risk 3%, and we make sure our risk reward on the trades is 1 to 3 at least. All right. Outside of that, make sure you take advantage of our free tools, our mindset series, Structure Breaking. That's available on our site as well. This piece, like I said, brought everything full circle because it helped me understand the power of my thoughts, my beliefs, and my actions. And this 6-week journal helped me become more intentional with my words and taught me how to speak the future that I wanted to in existence. And on Amazon, we have a few books available. 6 Steps to Trading with Consistent Results covers the concepts that I use in our charting sessions and our live sessions. We also have merch available. So you guys support the vision, support the dream, and remember that you're only one trade away from living while fight to stay the same.
Win, 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 win. Yeah.
Okay, so that was the wrong song. I would just go back and say that again. Y'all act like y'all didn't hear. Rewind. Remember, you're only one trade away from living. Why fight to stay the same? Use this as y'all affirmation. Y'all have a great evening. Just winning profit.